This next speaker is someone near and dear to me, who is a fellow industry, legend, has been around with me the same amount of years. And she is rocking it still as an industry coach. Her name is Cindy Ertman. Let me read her bio. I know she's going to, like everybody else, do the eye roll that we have to do this, but I really want you to know who you're talking to. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, so good to see you, Christine.
Here we go. You got to sit through this. We know how this goes. Cindy Ertman is the
Sure
CEO and founder of the Defining Difference, a success-based coaching and training company devoted to helping people master the power of intentional choice to create a defining difference in their own life. She has developed a track record of helping high achievers shift the way that they see the world and expand their vision of possibility by teaching them her total success approach to business and life. After being acknowledged as one of the top 100 most influential mortgage executives in America by Mortgage Executive Magazine for 5 years in a row, and being named in the top 100 mortgage loan originators in the US by Mortgage Originator Magazine for more than a decade, Cindy has now dedicated her life to empowering the growth of others. Cindy's goal is to help her clients get more out of life by making powerful, intentional choices to propel their income and achieve their peak performance, nurture their health and wellness, build connected referral relationships, and accelerate their success in 7 key areas of their life by removing the blocks that limit their potential. Cindy is also featured in the new documentary film, The Evolution of Success. This documentary charts the very personal journeys of some of the most successful people in the world. The film helps you redefine success and gives you the tools to reach new levels of joy, fulfillment, and achievement in every area of your life. So with no further ado, my good friend, my co-author of our best-selling book, Win or Learn, and my girlfriend, Cindy Ertman, here you go.
Thanks, oh my gosh, thank you, Christine. It's so great to be here with you all, and it's such an honor to participate in Christine's group. As she knows, I'm one of her biggest fans, and we have such a collaborative relationship, and I just love that. That's called abundance mindset, which I think is really a very important thing right now. I'm going to adjust my camera here a little bit. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to jump in. Obviously, 2022 has been such an interesting year after being in this industry for more than 35 years and running a very substantial origination business. I was very blessed early in my career to learn from some of the great leaders in America, and I basically didn't reinvent the wheel. Remember, Tim Rahim was one of my mentors, and I was on the faculty of Loan Toolbox for 17 years as a coach and teacher and trainer for Loan Toolbox, which is a great experience. But I learned early on that I just did not want to be good. In this business, I really set my intention to be one of the greatest originators in the US. And that takes incremental growth, right? It's like, we've got to take where we're at today. And I always say, every time I'd go to a conference or I'd come to a training like this, and I went to hundreds, my whole deal was to take 3 takeaways, not 25. And if I had 25, I would narrow it to 3. We have a rule in my coaching company that you are not allowed more than 3 cars out of the garage. And that's so that you actually do make change and integrate change into your business. And it's that incremental growth that takes you from, 10 million a year to 20 million a year to 30 million a year, and serving more and more families and making such a difference in the lives of others. And that is certainly what fueled me to become one of the top mortgage originators in the country. So I am going to share screen with you all now, because I do have a PowerPoint that I would like to share with you. And so if you could give me a nod or let me know, Christine, that you can actually see that.
Got it.
Perfect. Fantastic. All right. So I just wanted to share with you some key strategies today that I think it's really important, as Todd said, to get intentional. And Todd, I had to laugh as you're not laughing. I applaud you as you're telling everybody about your schedule per day of who you called, because we are so alike as to how we run our businesses. Mine was a little bit different in that I called 10 realtors that know, liked, and trust me every Monday. And so I rotated my list of 20 and called them 2 times a month. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I called 10 past clients. had nothing to do with rates. It was a check-in call on a regular basis. Wednesday, I called 10 new realtors that I wanted to build a relationship with the intention of getting an appointment. And Friday, I sent 10 thank you cards to anyone that I felt I needed to say thank you or show appreciation. So I love systems. You cannot scale a business without systems and processes. So highly, highly, highly recommend systems and processes. So I am going to, okay, my clicker is acting a little funny here. So these are basically the three things we're going to focus on today. I think mindset is big because last year, as you know, and many are still in this place, our mindset, pretty much the wheels just fell off. And I'm talking, I was getting calls from $200 million a year originators that I coached that really were really challenged to be able to get up every day with a confident mindset and go and lead their team and call their realtor partners. And I think when rates went up so significantly, it really messed with people at the level where they felt like they had actually created it. So I want you to think about the fact that the reality is we don't control the financial markets, right? One of my favorite, lessons from Jack Canfield, who is one of my mentors, he wrote all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, was E plus R equals O. Events plus response equals outcome. We cannot control the events of our life. We can control how we respond to those events to create the outcome we desire. So you might want to write that down because it is one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my career. E plus R equals O. And it's about focusing on how we respond to the events in life to create the outcome we desire. Next, we're going to talk about creating a strategic marketing plan. Look, in 2020 and 2021, nobody marketed. You didn't have time to market. You couldn't even field the leads you had. But today, it's important to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan in the different areas of our business, they don't get executed because it's one thing to have it in here in your head, but it's got to transfer onto paper. And I love creating very simple plans that myself and my team can execute to. And then I'm going to show you how I created my very simple annual marketing plan. I'm going to really recommend that if you have an assistant, that you sit down with your team and that you really just take an hour. I can map out an annual marketing plan in 1 hour, and it's the best use of your time so that you have a plan and you're getting out in front of more people and communicating with, your realtor partners, doing lunch and learn. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. So I guess the question is, are you really living right now in fear, or are you taking daily action to drive results? One of the things that I witnessed, and I'm sure Christine and Todd, you did too, but one of the things I witnessed so profoundly in 2022 was that the wheels just fell off people being willing to take action on their business. There was so much noise about the negativity in the marketplace. There's no business. The realtors aren't doing transactions. There's no new inventory coming on the market. Interest rates are too high. Those are just stories, right? They're factual, right? They are factual, but they are stories, and we've got to reframe the stories. And the clients that I coach that have told themselves a different story, they aren't listening to the news. They're listening to the financial news that they need to educate their borrowers, right? But they've got the blinders on for everything else. It's putting them in fear mode because fear puts us into absolute shutdown. And we've got to work on our mindset first for your family, for your team, for your referral partners. And if you're one of those have been complaining about the market and complaining to your referral partners about the lack of inventory, I'm going to suggest that you reframe your story and that you stop it right now because it doesn't put anything positive into the universe. Your referral partners and your clients need to hear factual data about what's actually going on in the market and giving them some hope for the future. Because one thing we know for sure, that real estate is the #1 wealth builder in the United States of America. And if I was in the home buying market right now, I'd be trying to get in right now before rates drop again. Because I know how this cycle works. Because again, the minute rates drop, and if Barry Habib is right, and things start to drop by end of first quarter, early second quarter, we've got a very big pent-up demand right now for housing. I don't know if you're feeling it. It's a very pent-up demand. So we're going to have potentially another pretty significant, hit for the mortgage industry, which is going to be a great thing. But look, I'm not going to go through all these. These are really some of the roadblocks that, we've had this year. And it's been a tough road for sure, because there's so much still uncertainty in the market. I have people calling me every day saying, I think I may want to switch companies. and people don't know what companies they can trust right now, right? It's frightening. We've lost a lot of our team members because we don't have enough profitability in our companies. This is happening all over America. So the reality is, if you're in a position where you've got a place that you feel confident in generating loans, let's focus on the practices that are going to make you make positive change here in the beginning of 2023, because I personally believe this is going to be a great year for your industry, our industry. I can feel it with everything I've got, and I've been doing this a long time, really, really long time. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to master an empowering mindset, because I think this is where it all starts. If we can get our head around really empowering our mindset, we become stronger with our clients, because it's really all about confidence. People, your referral partners need your help and support right now more than ever. And even if you're just connecting with them on a regular basis and help give them an update as to what's going on in the market, what you're seeing, what kind of, just talk through what the opportunities are, right? So I want you to think about what stories you're telling yourself that just aren't true. We all do it. It's kind of the human experience. We can tell ourselves that the world is ending. And look, I can't even begin to tell you what I went through some very difficult phases of my career. And the problem when we're in it, right, we don't know how long we're going to be here. And we have to, we've got to start taking very proactive steps. Working on your business, as Todd was talking about, I think is the number one key to my success. Even through my biggest years, when I hit 230 million in personal production, I was still taking an hour a day to work on my business, to call my referral partners, to call my past clients, to schedule meetings, to get in front of people, to schedule lunch and learns. I did hard mail marketing pieces quarterly. I sent two emails a month from my database. Database management, one of the biggest things. But if you're telling yourself a negative story right now, we need to turn that around, because we've got the ability to tell ourselves a different story by believing that what we do makes a difference. If you can help one more family get into a home, you are helping change that family's life forever. And we have also got to make sure that your team understands, what they're committed to as well. Sometimes we get stuck in the process of it, right? But it's not really about the process, it's about the end result. So look, we all carry the matches around to burn down our own house on a daily basis. How many times do you wake up in the morning and go, oh, I just don't want to get out of bed? I was talking to one of my dear friends, one of my favorite leaders in America, Mike Hardy, yesterday. Mike and I talk about mindset a lot. He runs a very large division for Churchill Mortgage, super guy, coaches for my company. But one of the things that Mike and I talk about is that even for him, he's like, it's still a challenge. I don't wake up like on the happy-go-lucky side every day, but my morning practices are everything. And so if you do not have morning practices in your morning, it redefined my life when I finally got intentional and consistent in morning practices. I have started setting my alarm to go to bed at 10:30 every night. I'm a night owl. I like working late. But in going to bed earlier, I'm ensured that I can get up and have an hour of my morning practices, and I do not miss it. We talk a lot about it. You hear a lot about it all around you. But if you are not intentional about morning practice, even if you can only carve out 30 minutes, really give yourself that gift. Because I pour into mortgage originators all day long, every day, to make sure that they're strong and they're growing and they're staying supported. But to do that, I've got to get myself strong, right? And we've got to start with our own mind and get ourselves into the right frame of mind. So I start with gratitude practices every single morning. I've got a gratitude journal. I do about 15 to 20 minutes of meditation, and I do reading and education. And then 3 times a week, I'm working out with a trainer. So I just highly recommend that you think about the process and the systems of what you're doing to get yourself to that next level and how you can show up for your day to be the best version of you, right? So what new story can you tell yourself today? What if we talked about the story that, look, we've got an opportunity here where we know rates are going to drop at some point in time. We are in a cyclical market. That has never changed. They're going to go up and they're going to go down. And you guys have all seen it on social. Everyone's posting the last 20-year history of interest rates. And when you look at that, it's really telling, because we've had so many years of interest rates higher than 7%, right? And yet I was in the market still doing loans and one of the top producers in the nation. but new programs come out, right? This year, last year, 2-1 buy downs. We've got to really learn our products and our programs and educate the market on what kinds of products they can use right now to bridge the gap until they can refinance into lower rates. But real estate is always a good opportunity. I remember one of my best realtors here in Manhattan Beach, California, many years ago, Ren, said to me, Cindy, time solves timing problems in real estate, but the key is you got to just get in the game. And we can all tell stories about the properties that we didn't, acquire that we should have many, many years ago. And I was told to sell a house one time because we were at the top of the market. And I don't even want to tell you what would have happened had I hung on to that property today. So just get in the game. And here, my apologies for my PowerPoint, stand guard at the door of your mind. I think that is just so key, right? We've got to stand, nobody's going to protect it. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' coach. And I actually went to Jim Rohn's funeral. That's how much I loved his work. But he knew that the number one thing we have to do is stand guard at the door of our mind and not let negative thinking lead our way. We've got to lead the way with understanding and educating ourselves. That's why I love Mortgage Coach. I love MBS Highway. You've got to have tools that differentiate you in the market and really show you as the expert that you are. Everyone needs education. And I think right now, education is really the number one tool for getting clients to be committed to you in your court. So these are 5 questions, not your typical questions around success and mortgage, right? But I want you to ask yourself these 5 questions. Take a picture of the screen if you want to, but what does success mean? Like, I love thinking about my business sometimes from a different vantage point. What do you really want in your life and your business? Are you living your life to your fullest potential? Because if you're not, you need to make change right now, or you're going to be in exactly the same boat 5 years from now. Time goes by in an instant. What's blocking you from creating the success you desire? Is it fear? Is it lack of confidence? Is you're just not motivated? A lot of people just lost their motivation this last year. But I want you to look at what is it going to cost you to continue in status quo. If you're not playing full out, like seriously, every single day, bring in your A game. If you're not playing full out each and every day, what is that costing you? Because I really believe so firmly that we are the sum of the choices that we've made up until now. And we've got to create different choices if we're going to create a different result, right? So I want you to think about these quickly. The 5 steps to an empowering mindset. Just take a screenshot. If you don't have morning practices, I want you to really think about it. That would be probably the number one thing I would ask you to really commit to, is giving yourself some time every morning to daily practices. Even if you're, I raised 3 children. I know it can be hard, even if it's 15 minutes, but start with gratitude. We all have amazing things to be grateful for. This morning, I was grateful to be in a home that's dry because we have had a massive downpour here for the last several days in Southern California. Exercise. I hate it. It's not something I love. It's not something that I would do without a trainer. I write the check so that I'll show up to my trainer because I know me. I probably won't. Christine, I know you love exercise, but it's not my thing. So I have to have a trainer to actually motivate me to do it. Meditation. If you would have told Cindy Ertman, type A, high performance mortgage professional, that I was going to meditate, I would have told you were crazy. It is not intuitive for personalities in the mortgage business, but one of the single best things I've ever done. What it does to create less stress, open up creativity, creative problem solving, clarity in my day. I really don't miss my 15 to 20 minutes of meditation each and every morning. I use Insight Timer app primarily. Calm is great. Headspace is great, but it's a practice, and it takes practice if you're going to integrate meditation into your life and your business. Affirmations, I'm healthy and strong. I'm confident and empowered. Affirmations are very, very strong if you've got to offset a negative mindset. The minute you catch yourself thinking a negative thought or a fear thought of, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should be looking for another job because I don't have any business right now. I've heard that a lot this week. You got to think about, you got to squash that memory. You got to squash that negative voice, and you've got to replace it with an empowering affirmation. Because when you close the door of your mind to negative thoughts, the door of opportunity opens to you. And I know this to be true. I mean, I practice it religiously on a day-to-day basis. I'm intentional about the energy that I'm bringing to my day. And we are all energy. I want you to really understand this. This isn't some woo-woo concept. You know, we are energy and people are reacting to your energy. So if you're putting great energy out with your referral partners and you're calling them with positive messaging and you're trying to create hope and encourage them and sit down and have a marketing meeting with them and talk about what they're doing to expand their business this year and how you want to help them. If you're putting positive messages out to your team, that we're going to work harder as a team, we're going to work more cohesive, you know, create your business plan together as a team, make sure you're doing regular team meetings, get an accountability partner, anything and everything you can do to fuel your day and the people around you. Make every interaction you have with everyone that you encounter, make them better for the experience, right? Because right now people need that. And if all you're doing is providing hope for people in your life, it will change the game for sure. So now we're going to talk about creating your strategic marketing plan. Okay, I'm really going to run through this, but this is really an important part of success right now. And I want you to think about coming up with 5 things, even 3 things on what you're going to do to increase your marketing ability and basically expand your reach. Right now, we've got to cast a wider net in mortgage because we don't have as many homes being sold. We don't have as many realtors, you know, doing 10, 15 transactions a year. So we've got to look at casting a wider net. So I'm going to give you some specific things here of things you can do to cast a wider net into your business. And then I'm going to have you jot some things down. So as I go through these, if it resonates with you, write it down because I want you to implement at least 3 new things into your marketing plan. So obviously the power of marketing is to stay connected to your past clients and your referral partners. And it gives you a systematic approach to staying in front of your clients. We've got to have a system in order to make this count. So I want you to think about, there's like 3 different buckets as far as I'm concerned. There's obviously digital tactics, which are huge right now. I've had many of my clients that are up from 2022 because of their social media presence, really took them to a next level. And some of those people 2 years ago vowed they would never do social media. And yet today they're some of the, you know, biggest names in social for mortgage. I've watched my client, Sue Meitner, just blow up. She went, I think she was up 20% last year in her business. And she attributed that all to her videos, her educational videos on social media. Really made a difference for her and her life. So video marketing. How many people are really using it? So many people go, I know I need to do it. I know you don't like the way you look. We all agree it's a necessity of life. So I'm committed to 2 videos a week, no matter what. At least 2 1-minute videos. Sometimes I do 3 or 4, but don't make it hard. It's not, I just use my iPhone. There's nothing fancy about what we do. We overthink it and make it too difficult. Record yourself on one conversation with the borrower. You'll have about 10 different videos you could do on the questions that you answer. You know, what are the key questions that your borrowers are asking you on every call? You've already got the content in your everyday life if you just pay attention. Are you asking for referrals? Maybe you need to start asking for referrals of your client base and ask for testimonials. Do you have a database that you are using consistently? That is the number one thing. And I really believe had not my first boss not beat me over the head, literally made me set up a database. I remember using ACT at the time. But I'll tell you, had I not done that, I was religious about my database. The single number one thing I did, I got 20 to 30% of my business for my entire 30-year career from my database. It is gold. And if you don't have one, you know, you email us at info@cindiertman.com and I'll give you a copy of a database guide. Seriously, very, very important to pick a database that you will use. Website marketing, referral marketing. Engagement, are you leading workshops and education? You know, you all have way more knowledge than anybody else out there on the mortgage industry, and educating people is key. For many years, I did a lunch and learn every single month, and then I dropped it back to once a quarter just because we developed too many new clients and it was a good problem to have. You know, but I started a mastermind group. Jeremy Forcier, a force to be reckoned with here in the US, very dear friend of mine, top originator in the nation. He leads 2 masterminds with realtor groups every single week. One of the best things, and all he does is give them a quick update on the market, and they throw out a question and each realtor commits to one goal for the week. Very, very simple process. But create mastermind groups or do lunch and learns, and don't worry about it being perfect. If you have one person or 20 people show up, just pour into those people and make a difference. Client appreciation events. Are you involved in chamber, community events, or MLS? Realtor pop-bys, great way to get in front of your realtor partners. Client reviews, attending closings. We didn't do that a lot in our market, but a lot of my clients do, and it's great. And then are you doing drip campaigns? Or maybe you're doing some co-branded marketing with realtor partners. Of course, if you want to get into radio ads, that's a whole nother level. But I want to give you some things to really think about as to ways that you can truly build and grow your business. And then just this slide alone, seriously, if you just focused on this one slide, right? We know that there's a lot of traction in Instagram Reels. You can go on and watch YouTube videos for how to do it if you don't have clarity. Look, TikTok videos. I am not on TikTok, but a lot of my clients are and having great success there. Make a development to post a minimum of 3 times a week. You don't have to post 8 times a week, but you do have to be relevant today. Because the first thing when a client reaches out to me to have a call, I go to their social networks and I look at their presence on social. And I can't even tell you, or some of the things that I've found, it's like, you don't have to be a marketing guru, but you do have to be relevant in today's age, without question. But share your client testimonials and reviews, right? Get it out into the world. Behind the scenes content for you and your team. People love behind the scenes. Film you doing a video, right? People love seeing a little bit of the snippets behind the curtain. People love that because they love getting to know you. Share some of your personal life. I know some of you get very guarded around, I don't want people to know my personal life, but this is the thing I know for sure. I know this for sure. You are going to be judged anyway. So why not be just judged for who you really are? I just got over myself several years ago. I just don't care. I'm just who I am. And some are going to gravitate towards me and some are going to gravitate away. And that is just okay with me. So show us who you are. Show us if you've got children or pets or the things that you love to do. Let us get to know you, because we are in the relationship business. First and foremost, we have to build relationship. And to build relationship, we have to really know who each other is. So I think showing some of your personal side is important. Post and support your realtor partners. I still will go to my realtor partners, listings, take a picture and post it on social media and tag them. Hey, come by Ann Chumbo's listing today. We're at 126 6th Street. It's great. It's such an easy way to give them acknowledgement and share them and get some more traction with your realtor partners. Promote local businesses and charities. Go meet with a local, restaurant owner. One of my clients does this religiously and it's working incredibly for her. Record short videos that are your, answers to your clients' most asked questions. So, and then share any upcoming workshops and events. So just think about 3 to 5 things that you want to integrate that maybe you've wanted to do for a long time. You don't have a database, but you need to get a database. The number one thing, if you don't have it for 2023, would be get a database that's operational and have a consistent system for using it. Mine was, I sent 2 emails a month, the 1st and the 15th. It was in my calendar. It was a system to my realtor partners. I had 100 realtors in my database. I only worked with about 25 of them, but I marketed to 100. And on the 1st of every month, I sent an email that I wrote to my past client database. And when I turned my business over to my production partner a few years ago, I had 4,500 clients in that database. And so if I was nurturing that database properly on a, daily, weekly, and annual basis, it was consistent for 20 to 30% of my business. So I really believe that you're missing the boat if you don't have an active database. And then I'm just going to share this briefly. This is just a view of my annual marketing calendar to give you an idea of how simple this is. We actually just created it on a Word doc. My partner and I would sit in a room and just go January, February, March, April, May. And but this is kind of how it looked when we were done. So we would just plug in on the 1st of every month that we were emailing our realtor database, but it was in my calendar and my assistant held me accountable. Get an accountability partner. And it's terribly important. If we would map out the year. If we said we were going to do lunch and learns, instead of going, yeah, I want to do 4 lunch and learns, because it's great to say it, but is it booked? Is it an appointment in your calendar? Make it a plan. So if we said we were going to do a lunch and learn in March, then in February, 30 days before, we would schedule exactly 30 days for that email invite to go out to our realtors. So we would send out the invitation, right? 30 days before. And 30 days before that, Stephanie and I would sit down in January and we'd put together, what is our topic going to be? What are we going to speak to? What are we going to educate them on? Is there a speaker that we need to bring in? So we would start with our title. You got to always have a sexy title. Work on the titles. Very important to get realtors to say yes to your lunch and learns. But we did hundreds of lunch and learns with tremendous success, gained tremendous realtor partners from our education events. So I highly recommend that. But build out a very simple calendar about when you're going to post your videos. You know, obviously we used Mortgage Coach on 100% of our borrowers. They all got a TCA. Was one of our single differentiator. Our financial planner clients loved the TCAs. Frequently, and when I was writing my emails to my past client database, I was, you know, sending updates from Barry Habib, right? So success is more than, you know, just simple disciplines practiced every day. You know, we've got to be disciplined. We've got to change our habits this year. It's really about our daily habits, like Todd was talking about. We've got to get intentional about our daily habits. And so I threw this slide in, Christine. I hope you don't mind, but like Christine is an incredible coach. I think it's so amazing that she's asked me to be on this call with you all, but I feel I've never brought in a slide around why you should hire a coach, but this is, and it doesn't have to be Christine or me, or maybe it's just an accountability partner, but this is what I know for sure, based on the hundreds of originators I've been talking to. This is a different season. And when I think back about 2007, 8, and 9, we were running our own mortgage bank that we had to shut down. We had to lay off 125 people. I know this is a rough season for you all, but I will tell you that was one of the roughest seasons in my entire career. And we barely hung on, like we barely stayed afloat because we got hit with buybacks in 2007. We ended up joining another company. We plugged in a $1.2 billion branch into another mortgage bank. It was a very painful couple of years, and we barely made it through to the other side. And I'll tell you, being in that was very humbling for sure. But I don't know that I could have gotten through at the level that I did with being able to lead our team, manage a branch, manage a region, had I not had a coach that was there to support me through it, because I was dealing with challenges I had really never dealt with before. So I've had a coach my entire career. I pay a lot of money to my coach right now, and he helps me build and grow every day, because we get in our own way, right? We need somebody else to shine a light on us and help us get unstuck and help us find the gaps in our business, right? So I had so many blessings and coaching that helped me get to the other side of challenges, not just as an originator, but as a branch manager and as a regional. And I just believe that at this time that we're in right now, everybody needs support. So if you're not at a place that you can invest in yourself in coaching, at least get somebody around you that can be an accountability partner where you can share new ideas and hold each other accountable to your goals. I think it's a terribly important thing to do. So if you want to get any additional information for what we offer at the Defining Difference, and we've got some great free resources on my site, you can go to cindiertman.com. There is the schedule a strategy call button on the top right corner of the website, along with the resource page. But feel free, if you feel that getting a strategy call and getting some input on your business would be helpful. We would love that, to have that opportunity to speak with you. And I just really, really want to encourage you to stop looking in the rearview mirror, to start looking at the road ahead, to get yourself up every morning and be empowered, because there is business being had right now. One of my clients yesterday said he pre-qualified 7 people already this week, and he's highly encouraged about the new year. So we are going to have business happen. Real change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. So again, I believe if you work hard on your job, you make a living, but if you work hard on yourself, you make a fortune. And as we all know, you know, people will forget what we said and what we did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So lead from your heart. not just your head, because we've got great opportunity in this business. I don't want people giving up, because I've gotten through a lot of tough markets, and I'm here to tell you I've gotten to the other side. And just pour into yourself this year and be the best version of you that you can possibly be. And let's win this together.
Yay. Oh my God, that was filled with such inspirational, motivational, and tactical information. I just love you, Cindy, and everybody listening in, and everybody that will listen back, because we will have hundreds, probably thousands of people listen to this recording as well, that for one reason or another might not have been able to make it today, because I hope they have closings going on. Don't be surprised, Cindy, if I show up for one of your retreats or future coaching, because like you, I get coached. I believe in that. I know that we're always reaching, growing. I loved my elder women in my family, my great aunts, because they were librarians. They were still reaching for education. My dad in his 70s is a reader, and he's always wanting to learn new things. And I think we both, that's our mantra. That's everybody's mantra that's here. As you can see, we have an abundance mindset. Cindy helps tons of people. We have the same heart. And I think, with 1 million mortgage professionals in the space, there's no way any one of us all can help everybody. So people that we're bringing in today can help you. They have wonderful systems to check out. And Cindy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. So great to be with you all. Have an awesome event.
Awesome. Thank you.